We're following developing news tonight out of New Bedford. A man shot in broad daylight. Happened right around 3 o'clock this afternoon on Acushnet Avenue. The 23-year-old victim was shot in the midsection and rushed to Rhode Island Hospital. According to New Bedford police, just 2 hours before that, right around 1, police responded to the area of Chancery and Court Streets for reports of shots fired. Police found 2 parked cars with damage from gunshots. At this point, they're not saying if those incidents are connected.
Local and state police, as well as the FBI, K-9 dogs and SWAT teams all swarming areas of Providence this afternoon looking for a man wanted for murder.
A fugitive on the run, wanted for a murder in Puerto Rico, was spotted near the downtown Providence Marriott Hotel around 1 p.m. on Friday. The search for 36-year-old Pedro Torres led to a multi-agency mid-afternoon manhunt through the streets of the city. Torres wanted by the Puerto Rico Police Department for a homicide involving a firearm, and now wanted by the Providence Superior Court for failing to appear on other gun-related charges. Torres was last seen wearing a dark t-shirt, shorts, and work boots. He is still at large and should be considered armed and dangerous.
SWAT teams, FBI, state and local police swarming downtown Providence as the search for murder suspect Pedro Torres wages on.
Without knowing what's happening, obviously there was a danger, so my thought was to just get inside.
This Delta Dental worker walking back to the office around 1, describing the scene. She says, among other things, she saw police looking through security footage from her building.
There were U.S. Marshals here with the K-9 units, and they were searching throughout the area, and we all kind of scurried into the building. We were told to, at that point, stay in the building.
Our cameras capturing this footage of a black car being towed from the area. One man tells us he was leaving the Marriott in the midst of this commotion, saying he had absolutely no idea what was happening.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the scene yesterday here at Middle and Chancery Streets in the city's West End. 2 other teenagers were also injured, but they are expected to survive. One neighbor who described the victim as a good kid and says he hadn't been in trouble. Others who live here say this kind of violence is becoming all too common.
Alana, thank you. And meanwhile, over in New Bedford, crews tackling flames bursting through this commercial building. The fire started around 2 on Mount Vernon Street by Caroline Street. Billowing black smoke could be seen from miles away. Firefighters tell us the building was empty at the time of the fire. The cause, meanwhile, remains under investigation.
The goal is to get the hospital, per se, to the patient, rather than rush them to the hospital.
Jason Rhodes, Chief of Emergency Medical Services for the state's Department of Health, says getting a heartbeat back can take time, during which movement has to be limited.
If you stop, interrupt chest compressions for any reason, whether it's to roll them onto a backboard, carry them down a set of stairs, or move them to the vehicle, you cannot do high-quality chest compressions.
Now we have to look at whether ISIS will kill us or the radicalized politicians will kill us. And that's the problem here. This is a very frightening situation.
Ehsan Mirza is an ICU physician at Kent Hospital in Warwick, a local Muslim and Rhode Island resident. He says the recent terrorist attacks were carried out by extremists and do not reflect the beliefs of all Muslims.
I know of no person who is a Muslim who is endorsing the policies that are being produced by Daesh, the ISIS.
The Rhode Island GOP also disagreeing with Republican Trump, saying he's gone too far.
It's un-American, it's unconstitutional, and I certainly don't agree with it. I don't believe that the party as a whole in Rhode Island would agree with that stance.
A lively protest tonight in Providence as hundreds of folks showed up to voice their opposition to that proposed downtown Paul Sox Stadium. The protest was held on the spot where the new owners want to build their new park on a huge chunk of 195 land. Protesters we spoke with say they are completely against the idea of building the stadium in Providence and are not happy that taxpayer money could be used to get the deal done.
This is regurgitating good money after bad. This is something our state is just great on. They want to go to Victory Place, they want to pay for it, perfect. That's a perfect spot for it. Not here. No how.
It's not going to generate new jobs for this state. It's a net zero gain in jobs. It's not going to generate new business for Providence. People will come to the stadium. They'll spend money in the stadium. They'll spend money on parking, and then they'll go home.
On Friday, Paw Sox owner Larry Lucchino said he remains focused on negotiating a deal to build the new stadium on the old 195 land. Earlier in the month, Speaker Mattiello said it's unlikely that a pitch for the stadium project will be considered by lawmakers until the next session kicks off early next year.
Lines winding through Roger Williams Park Sunday morning as thousands waited to hear from Democratic presidential candidate Bernie Sanders.
Bernie's the first truly progressive candidate to come along in my lifetime.
I just love Bernie. I'm really excited. I think he's a great candidate.
The massive crowds filing in towards the park's temple to music. And when Sanders finally took the stage, the crowd erupted.
When people stand together, united and not divided, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish.
It was great. I was raising my sign every 2 seconds.
It was better than seeing a Rolling Stones concert.
Sanders campaigning in Providence just days before the state's primary.
If we go forward in our personal lives or in our political life as a nation, we have got to deal with the real issues that we face and not just push them under the rug.
Well-known actress and Sanders supporter Shailene Woodley also making the trip to Rhode Island.
Martin Luther King Jr. was a profound organizer. Mandela was a profound organizer, and Bernie Sanders is a profound organizer.
Bernie Sanders says his campaign does best when voter turnout is high, so he's hoping this crowd of more than 7,000 people show up to the polls on Tuesday.
I would hope that on Tuesday, Rhode Island has the largest turnout for a Democratic primary in the history of the state.
He's so full of love and acceptance of everybody.
Bernie, on both sides of the aisle, is the only candidate out there that is actually trustworthy.
He's for everybody. You know, he accepts people, everybody. He's like a normal citizen.
It's a long way down from atop a 40-foot ladder, but it's no big deal for these recruits. 3 North Kingstown fire hopefuls joined 13 from Warwick in their 12th week of training to become firefighters.
Primary thing has been team building. Just pretty much everything ties back into that.
And this fall, firefighters in Warwick will have a slightly different looking team to trust in. Jenny Sales and Stephanie Gonsalves are training to join the boys, the first female recruits Warwick has seen in more than 2 decades.
I'm, very grateful for the opportunity, and it's really humbling.
Though both ladies ended up at this training session, they say their experiences when choosing the fire service were very different. Sales, a former PE teacher, says she's always been part of a team on the sports field, in the classroom, and now in the fire service. And for Gonsalves, it's been a dream since her senior year of high school.
I got to go with the rescue in town and absolutely fell in love with it. The guy I was working with was a captain, and it's like his passion towards what his job was. It made me want to definitely go for it.
The women say training has been tough for everyone. There's no gender separation when it comes to preparing for a job as a firefighter.
We spend over 60 hours a week together, and so we're all, like I said, basically a family now.
We're like one of the guys here, so it's like we got to keep up with them as much as they got to keep up with us.
The 18-week training program will wrap up with graduation on September 10th. In Warwick, Nicole Brazier, ABC 6 News.
He's a rock and roller who jams on stage with Roger Daltrey from The Who. So how does a 53-year-old guy from Pawtucket end up playing with a rock and roll Hall of Famer? The answer? It's what he did at Strummer Camp.
So whether you're a casual player or really know how to let it rip, anyone is welcome at camp.
Shelling out $5,000 on up for the opportunity.
You get to play with your heroes. How much cooler is that?
One of those rock legends, Roger Daltrey, sang with each band. Helping them with their performances.
It's always fun. And I do this because it does, like I said, it reminds me of why
I became a rock singer in the first place because this was the most fun thing I could think of ever doing. And this brings you back home.
It's the big finale, a concert in Foxwoods Grand Theater. The excitement builds, the theater fills, a last-minute sound check, a quick tune-up, lights up, showtime. An exhilarating turn at the mic for Argenti to end fantasy camp, which he's planning on making his reality.
It's more or less what I want the rest of my life to be.
Doreen Scanlon, ABC 6 News.
ABC 6 News reporter Kirsten Glavin is live in Providence with more on these winter preparations. Kirsten.
Liz, what a total change in weather. It's been so mild lately, but tonight out here you can really feel the cold, biting air. It's setting the stage for a wintry mix headed our way overnight. The DOT also recommending drivers stay off the road if at all possible during those early morning hours. Reporting live in Providence, Kirsten Glavin, ABC 6 News.
We're learning that a 5-year-old boy is safe after having been missing for several hours. Let's get right out to ABC 6 News reporter Anna Butari, who is live in New Bedford with the latest for us. Anna, what can you tell us?
Well, police just spoke moments ago, and they say that the parents of that young 5-year-old boy did contact them saying that he was safe. Now, police tell us earlier the boy was last seen here, dropped off this morning, as you can see, at the school at the same time, but it was unknown.
Oh my God, it was an eyelash.
it, brother. It's going to be amazing. Trust me when I tell you. It's called the Eye Opener. Right? Thank you, sir. You're going to have a bite of this sandwich, and it's going to be unbelievable. Absolutely. I didn't make it, so if it's bad, blame. Nice, my man. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. How about some knuckles first? There you go. A medium hot regular. That'll be $117.
Yeah, it's really unlikely, and they've been phenomenal this year. Just a great football team, very physical, and they're undefeated. So it'll be a tall task for us, and you know, we're looking forward to the rematch. Just a chance to get there is we're happy now. We want to go win.
We just know to never give up. We know shots weren't falling in the first half. We know shots are going to fall. That's pretty much it.
Until that clock says 0, I don't feel like we're out of it. And with that mindset, they stay confident, they stay hungry, and they have big goals, and they really want to get to where they want to go. So proud of them, and once again, fortunate enough to come on top.